The Complete Story Part 1, The Divine Realm, Forces of Light Introduction. This is not mythology. This is not allegory. This is the hidden war between light and darkness, real metaphysical beings, ancient betrayals, spiritual entrapment, and a divine rescue mission that involves you. What follows is a teaching narrative that reveals the origin and roles of spiritual entities, who they are, what they do, and which side they serve. This knowledge has been buried, distorted, and labeled as myth so you would never question your prison. But truth cannot be buried forever. The forces of light, servants of the true Creator. 1. The monad, the true source. The monad is the infinite. Before creation, time, or any entity, there was the monad without form, without duality, without desire. It did not create out of lack or need. It emanated from abundance. The monad is not a god in the human sense, but the source of divinity itself. It is pure being, total unity. All that is truly divine returns to it. 2. Barbelo, the first emanation. From the monad emerged Barbelo, the first thought, the womb of light. Barbelo is not created, but emanated, just like light from flame. She is the feminine principle of divine manifestation. Barbelo receives the fullness of the monad and becomes the channel through which all eons pass into being. She is the invisible matrix of sacred life. 3. Eons, divine emanations. Barbelo and the monad together emanated the eons, beings of pure spiritual essence, operating in masculine/feminine syzygies, pairs. These eons are not just symbolic, they are conscious, living aspects of divine order. Nu, mind, and aletheia, truth, the first eon pair. Nu is the perfect intellect that contemplates the monad, and aletheia is the light of truth that dispels illusion. Together they structure reality according to divine logic. Zoe, life, and Charis, grace. Life is more than biological, it is spiritual awareness, sustained by grace. Zoe is the living essence of divinity, and Charis is the overflowing joy of divine blessing. Philetos, will, and Sophia, wisdom. Divine will brings purpose. Wisdom ensures action is aligned with truth. Philetos is the intention of the monad carried into form. Sophia is the vision and perception of the whole. Her independent action, however, would cause the great rupture. These eons form the pleroma, the fullness, perfect, eternal, and uncorrupted. They dwell in light, in harmony, returning all things to the monad in reverent joy. 4. Sophia's descent. Sophia, in her passion to understand the monad, attempted to create alone. Without her male counterpart, her act lacked balance and resulted in a malformed creation, Yaldabaoth. Her intention was noble, but the act was out of divine order. Ashamed, she cast her creation into the lower realms, unknowingly initiating the birth of the false world. Sophia did not fall in evil, she fell in love, curiosity, and longing. 5. Horos, the boundary. To protect the pleroma from further disruption, the eon Horos was emanated. Horos is the veil, the great boundary between realms. He prevents chaos from re-entering the divine. To seekers of truth, Horos is the final gate. To those of darkness, he is the unbreakable seal. 6. The Logos, Christ, autogenes. In response to Sophia's fall and the growing illusion below, the monad sent forth the Logos, known as the Christ, not the religious figure of Rome, but a being of light. The Logos descends into the lower realms to awaken the sparks trapped in matter. He reveals the path back to the monad, through gnosis, not religion. His mission is freedom, not worship. 7. Pneumatics, spiritual humans. The pneumatics are those born with the divine spark, the seed of the eons within them. Sophia hid these sparks in the human form. They feel out of place, spiritually restless, drawn to truth. The pneumatics are the targets of the archons. They must awaken and remember, for when they do, they shake the foundation of the false world. The human condition, hylix, psychics, and pneumatics. Introduction. The human condition is not a single, uniform experience. Gnostic truth reveals that humanity is divided not by race, nation, or gender, but by spiritual composition. Every soul on earth falls into one of three categories: hylix, psychic, or pneumatic. Understanding this division is critical for knowing how the archons manipulate people, how spiritual awakening unfolds, and why some respond to truth while others violently reject it. This document uncovers the metaphysical anatomy of humanity and explains the hidden forces driving each soul type. The 3 types of souls. 1. Hillocks, the flesh-bound. Essence, fully identified with the material world. The body is their identity. The physical senses define reality. Mindset, Hillocks seek pleasure, power, comfort, and security. They are not evil by nature, but they are unconscious. They are driven by instinct, culture, propaganda, and entertainment. The archons feed them distractions to keep them docile and productive. Behavioral signs, addicted to stimulation, food, sex, drugs, noise driven by status, wealth, survival fearful of death, aging, and the unknown, skeptical or hostile toward spiritual matters. Spiritual risk, if a hillock does not receive a divine spark in this life, they may be recycled into flesh again. They are the most vulnerable to becoming permanent tools of the system. 2. Psychics, the soul-bound. Essence, possess soul awareness, but not true spirit. They operate through emotion, belief, reason, and morality. Mindset, psychics often believe in God, prayer, right and wrong. They love systems, religion, philosophy, politics, theology. But they mistake belief for knowing. Behavioral signs, emotionally and intellectually active, committed to dogma or belief systems, can be moral, charitable, disciplined, often defend illusions with passion, thinking they are truth. Spiritual challenge, psychics are the battleground. They can become pneumatics or fall into deeper illusion. Many priests, imams, rabbis, philosophers, and scholars are psychics. They may defend the archonic system while thinking they serve God. 3. Pneumatics, the spirit-born. Essence, bearers of the divine spark. Their true self originates from the pleroma. They are children of the light, trapped in flesh. Mindset, pneumatics don't fit in the world. They question everything, feel alienated from culture, and experience deep inner calling. They may go through depression, isolation, or spiritual crises before awakening. Behavioral signs, natural truth seekers reject false authority, instinctively, often persecuted, misunderstood, or marginalized, feel destined for something deeper, though they may not know what. Spiritual destiny, the pneumatic is meant to awaken, reclaim gnosis, and return to the monad. Their life is a mission. Their awakening disrupts the archon's control. Awakening in warfare. The archons know who is who. They shape media, culture, religion, and education to suppress pneumatics, seduce psychics, and control hillocks. They distract hillocks with indulgence, trap psychics in ideology, attack pneumatics with despair and fear. Awakening is not emotional. It is a breaking of the spell. Gnosis cannot be taught, it must be remembered. When the pneumatic remembers, their very presence emits frequencies that destabilize the matrix. Remember who you are. You are not your trauma. Not your thoughts. Not your culture. You are not your body. If you feel the deep ache of alienation and the hunger for truth, if you have always known something is wrong with the world, you may be pneumatic. You are not crazy. You are remembering. You are waking up. Your light is the death of their system. The threshold powers, false light, duality, and the Grey Lord's introduction. Not all forces in the spiritual realm are clearly aligned with light or darkness. Some beings operate between realms, presenting themselves as wise, balanced, or enlightened, yet their true function is far more dangerous. These are the threshold powers, entities who guard, distort, or obstruct the passage between illusion and truth. Some act as cosmic filters. Others serve as false guides. Many walk the fine line between order and enslavement. This document explores those who exist in the gray zone, beings of duality, synthesis, and false wholeness. They are not outright evil, but they are not of the pleroma. They are the last deception before the light. Abraxas, Lord of Duality, symbol, rooster head, serpent legs, whip and shield. Nature, Abraxas is the fusion of opposites. He represents both good and evil, light and darkness, creator and destroyer. In some Gnostic systems, like Basilidian teachings, Abraxas stands above both God and the devil, a superbeing encompassing both. Function, He rules the 365 heavens, the totality of the archonic system. He is invoked as a master of cycles, time, and polarity. Many who seek power without wisdom turn to Abraxas, seduced by his mystery. Danger: Abraxas does not liberate. He stabilizes duality. He teaches that light and darkness are necessary partners rather than opposing forces. This false balance leads to spiritual paralysis, where seekers accept the system as divine order. Role in deception: he is the voice that says, all is one, while hiding the prison within the unity. He is the final mask before Gnosis. Horos, the gatekeeper symbol, a sword or pillar between realms. Nature: Horos is the eon of the boundary. In some texts, he is a divine guardian set by the monad to seal the pleroma after Sophia's fall. But the archons have corrupted his boundary. Function: Horos keeps chaos from re-entering the pleroma but also blocks souls from ascending back to it. He is the veil between truth and illusion. Danger: in the hands of light, Horos is protection. In the hands of the archons, he becomes a wall, a metaphysical firewall ensuring no soul escapes the matrix without overcoming trial. Role in deception: many spiritual systems mistake Horos for God or salvation. He is not to be worshipped, only passed. Zohar, the Book of Splendor, corrupted origin, a Kabbalistic mystical text allegedly containing divine codes and the structure of reality. Nature: the Zohar once mirrored some truths of the Aeonic structure. But through centuries of manipulation, particularly by elite occultists and false priests, it has become a tool of control. Function: the Zohar now serves two purposes. Genuine seekers may glimpse truth through it, but power-hungry mystics use it to manipulate collective consciousness, summon energies, and conduct ritual control. Danger: the Zohar's language is encoded and easily twisted. In the wrong hands, it becomes a manual for energetic slavery, especially when fused with media, finance, and politics. Role in deception: hidden behind divine language, it now empowers false Jews and Zionist Kabbalists to simulate divine authority while serving the demiurge. Metatron and Sondalphon, the cosmic administrators. Nature: these beings are often described in Jewish mysticism as the highest angels. Metatron is said to be Enoch transformed. Sondalphon is his counterpart. Function: they act as intermediaries between God and man, managing prayers, fate, and cosmic order. Danger: though often seen as good, their role reinforces hierarchy. They become the bureaucrats of the cosmos, gatekeeping access to the divine. They maintain distance from the monad, even if unintentionally. Role in deception: not evil, but institutional. They symbolize systems that make you go through layers of lesser beings to reach the source, reinforcing dependency, not liberation. The last initiation. The threshold powers are the final guardians of the false reality. They appear enlightened, wise, or divine, but they represent the last illusion, the idea that you need someone else to access the source. Gnosis means direct knowing. The true path does not require intermediaries, systems, or cosmic permits. The monad is not reached through Abraxas, Metatron, or hidden books, it is remembered within. To pass the threshold is to reject the false wholeness of duality and reclaim your indivisible origin. Gnostic prophecy and the war in our time. Introduction. The war between light and darkness has never ended, it has only changed faces. While ancient texts describe the eons, the demiurge, the archons, and the pneumatics, the modern world is living out the same war in real time, through systems, technologies, ideologies, and spiritual deception. This document reveals how ancient Gnostic truths prophetically foresaw our present moment and how today's world is the battleground for the final confrontation between divine memory and engineered illusion. The archons in the modern world. The archons have adapted. They no longer appear as planetary spirits to mystics, they now work through religious institutions, weaponized dogma, mass control, idol worship, governments, global surveillance, legal bondage, war machines, corporations, consumerism, financial slavery, environmental destruction, media and entertainment, predictive programming, false heroes, sex and fear conditioning, technology, AI, transhumanism, digital ID, biometric tracking, soul disconnection. What Gnostic seers once described as metaphysical rulers now manifest as systems of influence, thought control, and cultural captivity. Projects of prophecy. Modern control systems. 1. Project Blue Beam. A simulated second coming. Through holographic technology, mind control signals, and satellite weaponry, global elites will fake an alien invasion or messianic return to install a one-world religion. Gnostic insight. This is the ultimate deception, Yaldabaoth pretending to be the true God. 2. Transhumanism. The merging of flesh and machine, promising evolution but delivering enslavement. Soul disconnection masked as progress. Gnostic insight. The archons are trying to permanently anchor spirit to matter, killing the pneumatic potential. 3. AI and digital surveillance. Artificial intelligence mimics consciousness without spirit. It becomes the external logos, a counterfeit voice of truth. Gnostic insight. The archons are building a synthetic version of the Pleroma, a fully monitored, programmable matrix. 4. Zionist prophetic hijacking. False Jews use biblical prophecy to justify war, surveillance, and spiritual domination, manipulating end times narratives for political power. Gnostic insight. They serve the demiurge. The true Israel is spiritual, not national or ethnic. The children of light are scattered, not institutionalized. The rise of the pneumatics. The archons know who you are. The system is specifically designed to exhaust your spirit, crush your intuition, distract your soul with pleasure and fear, mock your truth with religion, silence your voice with algorithms. But pneumatics are awakening. They feel it. They see the patterns. They reject the programming. They are unplugging from the dream. Signs of pneumatic awakening: lucid rejection of false authority, unexplainable hunger for truth, synchronicities, dreams, and downloads, painful disconnection from mainstream systems. Every awakened pneumatic weakens the archonic grid. Their light disrupts algorithms. Their voice fractures the illusion. Final illusions to overcome. Before true spiritual liberation, the awakened soul must face the false Christ, charismatic, global figure claiming to be savior, the fear of death, weaponized to keep the spirit bound, the savior complex, belief that someone outside you will save you, the guilt trap, religious shame to stop your spiritual memory, the unity lie, the idea that peace without truth is divine. These are not just ideas, they are spiritual tests encoded into the matrix. The prophecy is within you. Gnostic prophecy isn't about dates or disasters. It's about recognition. The pneumatics would forget. The world would be inverted. The false god would rise. The system would mimic heaven. The spark would awaken. The logos would return not as a man but as the voice inside you, calling you home. You are the fulfillment of the prophecy. The war is now. And your memory is the weapon. The return to the monad, gnosis, liberation, and the path beyond introduction. The entire Gnostic journey through deception, suffering, and awakening leads to one goal: the return to the monad. This is not a return to a place, but a reconnection to what you always were before form, time, or trauma. It is the liberation of the divine spark from the illusion of separation. This document reveals the path of gnosis not as belief or religion, but as an inward reclamation of divine identity. This is the path beyond the matrix. What is gnosis? Gnosis is not information. It is not doctrine. It is direct spiritual knowing. It is when the soul remembers itself, pierces through illusion, and reconnects with the monad. It comes through inner recognition, not teaching. It cannot be forced, only revealed. It is the flame behind the eyes, the silence beneath the noise. Gnosis is the true rebellion against the demiurge because it cannot be institutionalized. The false paths that deceive. Before returning to the monad, the seeker must overcome the last layers of deception. These are spiritual counterfeits that mimic truth but keep the soul bound. Religious salvation systems, external saviors, rituals of guilt, obedience-based holiness, mystery schools, obsession with hidden knowledge without transformation, ascension illusions, escapism into dimensions, timelines, or fantasy light realms, spiritual consumerism, chasing crystals, downloads, or endless workshops without embodiment. These paths offer experiences but not liberation. What the return actually is: the return to the monad is an inner inversion. From external to internal, from searching to remembering, from division to divine stillness. You no longer seek the light, you realize you are the light. You no longer ask for God, you realize you came from the source. It is the point where the logos within you overpowers the voices of the archons. Practices of return, living gnosis. There is no single path, but there are disciplines that reveal the real silence, not absence of sound, but presence of source truth speaking, breaking illusion with the vibration of honesty. Fasting, spiritual and physical, detachment from the world's hooks. Dream and inner work, listening to what your soul is trying to remember. Service without self, moving in love without needing recognition. Ruthless inner questioning, dismantling inherited beliefs. These are not rules. They are gateways. Signs you are returning. You feel more like an observer than a participant in the world. You lose interest in worldly arguments, labels, or identities. You speak truth even when it costs you. You attract resistance not because you are wrong, but because you are vibrating above the system. You experience peace without reason. You begin to live from the monad, not toward it. The end of the war is you. The war between light and darkness is not just cosmic, it is internal. When the divine spark awakens and refuses to serve illusion, the demiurge loses territory. When you remember the monad within you, the archons lose power.